All right, thank you so much, Connor. Coming to you from Simon Scott Assembly Hall, Graham Nash and Nick Rotocap as the Indiana Hoosiers host the Lindenwood Lions for IU's fifth game of this young season. The Hoosiers 4-0 to start Darren DeVries' tenure, trying to add one more win in that tally against the Lions, just their third year at the D1 level. Hello, everybody. Great to be with you here tonight. Thank you so much for spending your Thursday evening with us. Nick, a lot that we can talk about when it comes to these Indiana Hoosiers. First thing we got to touch on, it was a rapid hot start to the season shooting-wise, but last game against Incarnate Word, we really saw a slowdown with that shooting.
Yeah, Graham, there were some questions about what Indiana would look like when the shots didn't fall, and we found out what that looks like when Indiana faced Incarnate Word on Sunday. Indiana shot under 25% from three and under 70% from the free throw line. Incarnate Word outscored Indiana 42-34 in the second half, and they made things interesting. It was a 5-point game in the final 2 minutes, but Indiana pulled away, and Darren DeVries said after the game, we have to lean on our defense and our rebounding when the shots don't fall. And to Indiana's credit, the defense in the first half was really good, and that's what allowed the Hoosiers to build such a big lead, even as the shooting was very off from what we saw the previous 3 games.
Yeah, only 19 points for Incarnate Word in that first half. Like you mentioned, the defense was phenomenal, and despite the poor shooting day for Indiana, still got to give credit to Lamar Wilkerson and Tucker DeVries. They have been unbelievable through the first 4 games.
Lamar Wilkerson leading Indiana nearly 19 points per game, and he's a defensive pest too, leads the team in steals, and Tucker DeVries as well. Both Wilkerson and DeVries shooting over 45% from three-point land and averaging over 17 points per game. They are phenomenal. They're veteran guys, and this is what they came here to do. I think Indiana fans can be very encouraged by the fact that these guys who succeeded at the lower level of Division I have come to the Big Ten and have come to Indiana, and they have picked up right where they left off under head coach Darren DeVries.
Now, something really interesting about this matchup is there's actually a direct comparison between the two teams as they both played against Alabama A&M. Indiana played Alabama A&M in the season opener, won 98-51. Lindenwood just coming off a loss to the Bulldogs, 74-65. Not a great day for the Lions against Alabama A&M, but still that direct comparison. The numbers will tell you Indiana's got this one locked up.
Yeah, Lindenwood is a team, as you mentioned in the open, very new to Division I. They actually just officially completed the move because the rule is in the NCAA, it takes a few years to transition fully up to D1, and they're part of the Ohio Valley Conference, and this is a team that was right around 500 last season. They had won just 20 games combined in their first 2 years, and they took a step forward under Kyle Gerdeman at the helm. He's been with Lindenwood since they were at the D2 level. But this is a team that has a lot of newcomers and still a lot of unknowns, and this is an early test for them, one of many. I mean, you look at this non-conference schedule, facing Indiana and Texas Tech in the first month of the season, both on the road. That's a great opportunity for your team to learn where they can improve as the season goes on.
Yeah, really wild, the step from D2 to D1. They've got a lot of players that went to Lindenwood when it was a D2 program still, and now they're up at the D1 level. Also 9 newcomers for this Lions team, so like Indiana, could still just be trying to figure things out. It takes a while to get that chemistry, but on the Indiana side, the chemistry has looked really, really strong.
And that was kind of one of the question marks, but that's where I think the summer trip down to Puerto Rico was huge. The exhibition games, especially the one against Baylor, was big because Indiana faced adversity in that game, and they found a way to win. This is a veteran group. They know what it's like to win. I mean, you've got Sam Alexis coming off the bench, and he's a national champion coming over from Florida. So this is a team that really hit the ground running, and there were some kind of concerns about that, but they can move the ball about as well as any team in the country, and it's hard to do that from day one, but they've been able to accomplish it.
Well, we're going to take a quick break here on 99.1 WIUX. Come back with your starting lineups for the Hoosiers and the Lions. 5th game of the season for IU. They host Lindenwood. We'll be right back to get you opening tip on 99.1 WIUX. Welcome back to Simon Scott Assembly Hall. The Indiana Hoosiers hosting the Lindenwood Lions in IU's 5th game of the young season. Graham Nash and Nick Rotocap coming to you live from Assembly Hall. Get you these starting lineups from both sides. Starting for the Lions, it's Makai Cooper, Dontrez Williams, Milos Nenadic, Jadis Jones, and Clayton Jackson, who are the starting 5 for the Lions. Milos Nenadic and Dontrez Williams, 2 of the highest point scorers on this Lindenwood team. Both of them transfers. Speaks to the new landscape of college basketball.
Yeah, Dontrez Williams coming over from the WIUX. He was an all-freshman team member at Abilene Christian. Very experienced. Played in all 32 games at Abilene Christian down in Texas. And then Milos Nenadic, Didn't play last season at Maine, but he's hit the ground running with Lindenwood, over 7 rebounds a game, and I feel like that's something to watch out for because he and Reed Bailey both stand at 6'10", but Reed Bailey doesn't really play like a big, so it'll be interesting to see how Nenadic handles the paint against this Indiana team that historically, at least so far this year, has gone relatively small.
Reed Bailey is one of the starting 5 for Indiana, the same starting 5 that the Hoosiers have gone with all season long. It's Reed Bailey, Lamar Wilkerson, Connor Enright, Tayton Connerway, and Tucker DeVries. You mentioned the size, Nick. That feels like one of the biggest headlines and concerns about this Indiana team. They have played a couple of bigs so far this season, and Indiana has out-rebounded pretty much every team that it has played, but still, that concern is very much alive.
And I think not necessarily in terms of the non-conference games, but what's that going to look like when Indiana gets into Big Ten play? Well, we don't know yet. Now, Big Ten play begins in early December. Indiana goes to Minnesota and then hosts Penn State after Thanksgiving. So you'll get a better idea of what that looks like, but it's still kind of intriguing. And another thing, too, is that Indiana's still got 3 guys who are out indefinitely with lower body injuries, so the depth is really narrow. You saw it against Marquette, where Indiana got into early foul trouble, and you saw Tucker DeVries take over the game and kind of nullify that. But it is something to keep an eye on in any of these games. If Indiana gets into foul trouble early, their options on the bench are really limited. Yeah,
IU just got Nick Dorn back, which was only one player, but still pretty helpful to the problem. He's played in the last 2 games for IU. Wonder if we'll see him get any play here tonight in Assembly Hall. Something else that's been really notable about this Indiana team is the assisting. On the offensive side, Indiana has had 20-plus assists in all of its first 3 games, which was the longest stretch since the 2012-2013 season. They are spreading the rock real well.
Yeah, they move the ball about as well as any team in the country, and it's not just that they're racking up assists, it's that Indiana's avoiding turnovers while doing it. You look at the assist-to-turnover ratio, 3rd in the country at over 2.5 assists to turnover. And I did some very rudimentary math. 126 made baskets, 91 assists for Indiana. That's over 70% of the time Indiana is assisting on made baskets. The ball movement is phenomenal, and you knew that was going to be a focus with this smaller lineup, but it has come to fruition early for Darren DeVries and his team.
And those assists have led to high-scoring games. Indiana, 100 points against Marquette in that neutral site non-con game. 101 against Milwaukee, but only 69 to speak of against Incarnate Word. The offense going to try to get back on track after that bit of a stutter against the Incarnate Word team that came in just this past weekend. Indiana going to take on the Lindenwood Lions. Going into that Incarnate Word game, though, mentioned this, Indiana was tied for 5th in points per game at the D1 level. It was an unbelievable stretch of 3. Now they're tied for 39th. That's how uncharacteristic, I guess you could say, that last game was.
Yeah, the sample size is your enemy here because Indiana's only played 4 games, and I don't know how sustainable 100 points a game is for this team, especially once the competition level ramps up. And unfortunately, Marquette might not be as good as a lot of people thought they were going into this season. But the scoring pace, I mean, if they get going, which they did not against Incarnate Word, but if they do, Tucker DeVries, Lamar Wilkerson especially, they can rain down points in quick succession, and that's the impressive thing, is that you've got multiple guys who can do the work.
10 players out on the floor here at Simon Scott Assembly Hall. It's Bailey and Nenadic in the center circle, Indiana, and it's all white with red lettering, and Lindenwood in all black with gold lettering. That's a pretty sweet jersey that the Lions have brought to Bloomington. We got the ball in the center circle as well, as we're waiting for Tayton Connerway to get in position. Ball is up, and Reed Bailey wins the tip. Indiana gets the first offensive possession going from right to left. They got it in the hands of Tayton Connerway, who's averaging about 12 points per game this season. He drives in the left lane, kick out to Lamar Wilkerson, who drives to the free throw line, gets blocked by Williams, gets the ball back, and Indiana's going to reset with 10 on the shot clock. Connor Enright between the rings, trying to find someone down low, finds Wilkerson on the right side. Wilkerson working on Makai Cooper, gets to the right elbow. Couple passes around the perimeter, shot at the buzzer is good. Tucker DeVries from the left corner gets his first bucket.
Nearly a shot clock violation for Indiana, but Tucker DeVries got that off with less than a second left.
DeVries shooting 45% from beyond the arc to begin this season. A phenomenal mark for the West Virginia transfer. From the right corner, Makai Cooper drives, loses the handle. Tayton Connerway comes up with it, tries to put it ahead for Reed Bailey, but Dontrez Williams got back in defense and got that ball before Bailey could get to it. So back on the right side of the floor, Working it down low to Nenadic on the right block. He's swarmed, has to kick it out. Lamar Wilkerson nearly took it away. Williams drives left lane. Doesn't get a friendly roll off the window and comes up empty. It's still 3-0 Indiana. Tucker DeVries takes it from right to left for the Hoosiers. Just about a minute into first half action. He lets it fly from the left corner, or the right corner, and misses short. Indiana has the green light to shoot pretty much anything that they want. That's what head coach Darren DeVries said a couple of games ago. Lindenwood with the basketball at the top of the key. Clayton Jackson trying to get to the free throw line. Bounces it down low to Nenadic. Nenadic spins, puts up a one-handed prayer. It misses everything. Defense for Indiana looking strong to start. They still lead 3-0, 2 minutes into the first half. Moving from right to left, Reed Bailey has it just inside the right wing. Bailey gets to the baseline, tries to think about a shot, kicks it out to Enright in the left corner. He drives to the left elbow and will give it to Lamar Wilkerson on the left wing. Now Bailey in the near short corner, works to the free throw line, spins, puts up a left-handed layup, no good. Rebound for Tatum Conaway. He puts it up and in.
Looks like Clayton Jackson trying to fight for that rebound, sort of over pursued. It ended up out of bounds.
5-0 lead for Indiana, 2.5 minutes into the first half. Clayton Jackson on a handoff goes to the right wing and hands it off himself to Jadis Jones. Jones on the right wing, drives on Tucker DeVries, who pokes it away. Tatum Conaway comes up with the basketball, moving from right to left. Conaway, handoff, DeVries moves to the left wing, stops, gets it back to Conaway on the right wing, and now Indiana will set up an offensive play. Never mind, Conaway pulls, it rims out on the right side. Tatum Conaway has not had the best luck from beyond the arc to begin. He's 1 for 9 this season. Milos Nenadic tries a three of his own, and he airballs from the top of the key.
Very poor offense so far for Lindenwood. That three early in the clock from Nenadic, a guy who's shooting under 37% from beyond the arc this season, seemed like he kind of forced that one and just completely whiffed on everything.
Indiana's defense has looked really, really good. The Hoosiers had a phenomenal start defensively against Incarnate Word over the weekend, and then Incarnate Word really raged back in the second half. Indiana has Lamar Wilkerson on the right wing, who gives it to Tucker DeVries, rifles a pass inside. Reed Bailey loses the handle, and Clayton Jackson picks it up to move it from left to right. The Hoosiers with a 5-0 lead. Corner triple on the way, long from Dontrez Williams, and an off-the-ball foul. Connor Enright hit the deck.
Yeah, Enright got sent to the floor fighting in the lane. I think Jadis Jones was the one who fouled him. And that was an open catch-and-shoot three from Dontrez Williams in the corner. He's their leading three-point shooter on the season, but he missed that one. I mean, Lindenwood, 3.5 minutes into this game, still scoreless. Part of that is Indiana's defensive pressure, but that's now a couple good looks that they've missed from downtown.
And now Incarnate Word bringing out a bit of a full-court press, not too much of one, as Indiana takes it from right to left across the timeline. The Hoosiers leading 5-0, 3.5 minutes into first half action. Connor Enright on the left side, drives to the right lane, stops, bounces it to Lamar Wilkerson, who couldn't handle the pass, and it goes off his leg out of bounds.
Yeah, and it looks like Enright may have moved his pivot foot as well. I think the Lindenwood players on the bench wanted to travel. That's kind of a ball don't lie situation. But again, Indiana leaning on that defense, kind of like what we saw against Incarnate Word. The shooting, though, has been a little bit better right out the gate.
The Hoosiers 2 for 6 from the floor, 1 for 3 from beyond the arc to begin the ball game. Dontrez Williams with the basketball on the right wing, floats it up, looking for Robert Lewis, who just checked in. He's able to come down with it, can't put up a shot, and he passes it out of bounds, trying to get it back to Williams.
Sloppy possession there for Lindenwood. That was just an errant pass by Robert Lewis, and he's a veteran, but he just kind of threw that one away.
And so Indiana with a 5-0 lead, 16 minutes left to play in the first half. We'll take it from right to left across the timeline. Sam Alexis gets his first touches, the leading scorer from that Incarnate Word game, and he flushes it off a pick and roll with Tucker DeVries. Sam Alexis averaging 12 points per game, the third most on the team. He hasn't had one start. All of that's been off the bench. Clayton Jackson drives to the free throw line for Lindenwood, almost said Incarnate Word, and kicks it out to Dontrez Williams, gets to the baseline, forces a shot, doesn't go in, the tip nearly falls, but a rebound for Trent Sisley, and Tucker DeVries takes it quickly from right to left. He'll hand it off, long 30-footer, it's short for Lamar Wilkerson. Sisley trying to save it, and he does. Tucker DeVries gets it at the logo, behind the back dribble, and he gets fouled by Jeremiah Talton. That'll take us to the under 16 timeout. Indiana with an early 7-0 lead, 15-15 left in the first half. We'll be right back on 99.1 WIUX. Welcome back to Simon Scott Assembly Hall. 7-0 lead for the Indiana Hoosiers early in the first half. Nick, the offense has looked a bit stronger than the Incarnate Word game, but what really sticks out, the defense has been really, really solid to begin.
Yeah, I would say holding your opponent scoreless for nearly 5 minutes of game time is a solid start for Indiana, and that is the really encouraging thing. It's hard to quantify, but Lindenwood 0 of 7 from the floor and being out-rebounded 8-3 by Indiana. That's pretty good by my count. Lindenwood not getting a ton of good looks, and when they do, they're missing them so far, and Indiana's rebounding intensity is noticeably higher than that of Lindenwood so far. That's really encouraging if you're an Indiana fan.
Yeah, because, Lindenwood has Milos Nenadic averaging 7.5 rebounds a game. He has been a monster on the glass, and so far, not much to speak of. He's only got 1 rebound. 7-0 lead for IU. About 15 minutes left in the first half as the Hoosiers inbound it to Tayton Connerway. Indiana moving from right to left. Connerway drifts all the way to the near side of the floor from the far sideline. He finds Tucker DeVries on the right wing. Dribble towards Trent Sisley, trying to get it to him. He just pops it over right back to DeVries on the right side. DeVries gets a handoff from Alexis. Straightaway jumper is short. Sisley trying to track it down, just can't save it. It's going Lindenwood's way.
I've seen Indiana take 2 or 3 really deep three-point shots. Those are from NBA range. Tucker DeVries not afraid to pull from that far, but I don't like that look.
As a team, the Hoosiers shooting over 40% from 3, but under 25% in its last game against Incarnate Word. Lindenwood with the basketball on the left wing. Futrell thought about a triple, gets it down low to Nenadic on the left block. Nenadic straight back to the top of the key, finds Makai Cooper. High ball screen, Cooper mid-range jumper, just falls off the right side of the iron. Sam Alexis cleans it up. 7-0 lead still for IU, 14.5 to play in the first half, and the ball goes out of play off of Incarnate Word. Tayton Connerway was moving quickly in transition, went to the ground.
Yeah, Connerway, I think also, he looked like he was tripped by Makai Cooper, but no whistle.
He'll inbound it on the baseline between the hoop and the near sideline, gets it to Tucker DeVries, bounce pass to Alexis at the free throw line, and he'll get it back to Lamar Wilkerson at the top. Lamar Wilkerson drives. Connerway thought about a corner triple. Now he'll fire, and he hits. Only the second 3 of the season for Tayton Connerway. But a big one to get the Indiana offense back rolling a bit here in this game. It's 10-0 Hoosiers, 14 minutes left in the first half. Makai Cooper swarmed by Tayton Connerway. He gives it up to the top of the key. Dontrez Williams fights his way into the left lane, tries to give it up to Nenadic. It's taken away by Sisley. Sisley gets a good pass from Connerway in transition, goes for a layup. It gets blocked, and it goes right back into his lap. He touches it as it goes out of bounds. It's Lindenwood basketball.
You admire the intensity there by Trent Sisley, running the floor after getting the steal and trying to get out in transition, but Aeneas Futrell got back and picked up the block. Just his 3rd of the season, but really good defense there.
Nick Dorn checks in for the first time. Tucker DeVries takes a break for Indiana as Makai Cooper drives in the left lane, kicks it out, corner triple, Futrell short, and a rebound for Nenadic. He goes straight back up and gets the first 2 points for Lindenwood. It's 10-2 Indiana, 13.5 minutes to play.
And it speaks to how good Indiana's defense has been so far that it took Lindenwood 6.5 minutes to score.
And it was always going to be Nenadic. He's averaging about 12.5 points per game down low in the paint. On the right block, Lamar Wilkerson working on Futrell, gets blocked. It goes out off of Futrell. But Aeneas Futrell, last couple defensive possessions, showing off the blocking skills.
Tell you what, it seems like every other Indiana field goal attempt in the paint has been blocked by Lindenwood.
Connerway inbounds it to Sisley in the left corner. He dribbles to the left wing and bounces it to Lamar Wilkerson. Wilkerson shaded to the left side between the rings. Double-teamed by Nenadic, who pokes it out of play. It stays on this end of the floor.
Lindenwood's defensive pressure has been pretty good. And talking about the blocks, 12 through 5 games and already 3 blocks in this first half against Indiana.
Lindenwood's second leading scorer, Dontrez Williams, comes out of the game. Coming in, Jeremiah Talton. As Connerway inbounding from the near sideline, hasn't gotten it in yet, looking for anyone, gets it to Wilkerson. Corner triple, he forced it up and he missed everything. Shot clock violation. And Lindenwood with a couple really, really good defensive possessions.
Looked like Wilkerson thought he got hit on the arm by Aeneas Futrell there. He was fading out of bounds in the corner as he let that one go, and it didn't even come close to hitting the rim. But I think that's just really good defense there by Lindenwood, and they've come up with a few stops in succession here.
The Lions just need to get that offense going a little bit more. It's 10-2 Hoosiers, 12:45 left in the first half. Futrell fights his way into the right lane, misses short, gets his own rebound, can't get the follow, and Nick Dorn hits it out of bounds. It stays Lindenwood basketball. And a couple substitutions, one for each side. Tucker DeVries comes in for Lamar Wilkerson, and Robert Lewis comes in for Milos Nenadic.
Kind of concerning there if you're Indiana. You had 3 white jerseys in the paint, and Lindenwood came away with the ball.
Lindenwood inbounds to the left wing, driving, stop, pop. Futrell can't get it to go, rattles in and out. And a rebound for Sisley, who finds Connerway moving from right to left. 10-2 Hoosiers, 12:30 left to go in this first half. Sisley fights up a shot. It's followed by Sam Alexis with 2 hands. Lindenwood moving quickly in transition. Jones got into the paint, has to kick it out. Straightaway triple off the heel of the iron, and it goes out of bounds off of Sam Alexis. Pace starting to pick up a little bit more here in Assembly Hall as 2 more subs come in for Indiana. Connor Enright and Reed Bailey enter the game. It's 12-2 Hoosiers, 12:15 left in the first half. As Lewis gets it to Clayton Jackson. He's been really quiet. Pick and roll. Lewis forces up a shot, gets a friendly bounce off the front of the rim, and it falls. 12-4 Hoosiers, 12 minutes left in the first half as Connerway takes it from right to left for Indiana. Connerway gets in the left lane, stops, kicks it to Connerway on the right wing. He drives, tries to bounce it to Bailey, and it's taken away by Futrell. Good defense again from the Lions. Futrell stops on the left wing, bounces it down low to Jones. Jones right back out to Futrell, top of the key. Talton on the right wing, gets to the free throw line, stops, has to kick it out to Jones. Good defense now from the Hoosiers, 14 seconds to shoot. Talton puts up a right corner triple, and he's fouled going up by Nick Dorn.
Yeah, Dorn a little too aggressive on the closeout there, but Indiana's defense really, really good through the first 8.5 minutes.
That's going to take us to the under 12 media timeout. 3 free throws coming up for Jeremiah Talton. When we come back, it's a 12-4 lead with 11.5 minutes left in the first half on 99.1 WIUX. Welcome back to Simon Scott Assembly Hall. It's 12-4 Hoosiers leading the Lindenwood Lions, but Nick, Lindenwood really stepping it up as of late, especially on that defensive end.
Yeah, the defensive side actually has not been bad at all for Lindenwood. I mean, you think about Indiana averaging 92 points per game. Holding the Hoosiers to 12 points through the first 8.5 minutes is pretty good. The problem is the shots aren't falling. 2 of 15 from the floor, 0 of 4 from downtown. Yeah, not going to get it done.
Not exactly what they're looking for, especially for a team that shoots around 50% from the floor this season through 5 games. And you mentioned that defense on the Hoosiers. IU shooting about 35% from the floor. They shoot over 50% from the field this season. So Indiana has not exactly had its best shooting to begin the game either. Coming back, Lindenwood's Jeremiah Talton will shoot 3 free throws after he got fouled by Nick Dorn in the near corner. And the Lions just looking for a bit more consistency. It's been a very slow start offensively. They're shooting 13% from the field and 0 for 4, like you said, Nick, from beyond the arc. The 5 out there for the Hoosiers coming out of the break. It's Enright, Dorn, Connerway, Bailey, and Tucker DeVries. As Talton steps up to the free throw line, he's out there with Jones, Williams, Clayton Jackson, and Robert Lewis. Talton, this only his 4th free throw attempt of the season. He's 3 for 4, and now he's 4 for 5. Converts on the first one. And Jones, that's his first point of the ball game. Or excuse me, Talton, that's his first point. He averages about 6 a game as he connects on the second.
Kind of strange. I think that's the first 3-shot foul Indiana's given up this season. Free throws might be one of the only things that keep Lindenwood in this first half.
All 3 go down for Jeremiah Talton. It's 12-7 Indiana lead with 11.5 minutes left to play in the first half. Tatum Connerway takes it from right to left for IU. He'll bounce it to Tucker DeVries on the right wing. Finds a cutter in Bailey. Bailey straight to the cup, gets fouled, and makes the basket. Good way to respond for an IU offense that was stalling.
Clayton Jackson late on the help side defense right there, came charging across the lane and slapped Reed Bailey on the shoulder. And I guess you'd rather that than give up the easy two. The problem is if Bailey finishes through contact and then earns the trip to the line.
Bailey misses the free throw, falls off the left side of the iron. So it's 14-7 Hoosiers, 11:15 left in the first half as Jackson takes it across the timeline from left to right. He's guarded closely by Connerway on the left wing. Gets a screen, has to give it up to Talton on top of the key. He'll then hand it to Williams, who drives to the baseline. Williams has to kick it back out to Talton. 8 seconds to shoot. Trying to get it down low to Jones. Was poked away by DeVries, but he still got it. Spins to the cup. Can't get the first shot, but follows it with a volleyball tip back up and in.
Great second effort there by Jones when it looked like he had nothing. Good job finishing that possession.
14-9 Indiana leads. This is the slimmest their lead has been all game since the start as Bailey goes straight into the paint and draws a foul from Jeremiah Talton, who was there waiting for him.
You can see Talton was trying to take the charge, but the referees call it a block on the floor, so Bailey goes back to the stripe. It did not look like Talton was set. He was still sliding from right to left, and a chance for Indiana to get a couple at the stripe here. The Hoosiers really struggled in that respect against Incarnate Word, under 70% on Sunday.
And they were nearly perfect from the free throw line in the first couple of games as well, to add insult to injury, as Bailey connects on the first free throw. Bailey, he's started every game for IU, averaging over 10 points. It's been the rebounds, like you mentioned, that just really haven't been there for him. He doesn't play as tall as he is. He's 6'10", but just can't quite play like he's 6'10". Second free throw just rims out. 15-9, Indiana leads, 10.5 minutes left in the first half. And Dontrez Williams finds Jadis Jones in the near short corner. Jones spins on DeVries, puts up a wild shot, but he gets a friendly bounce and rolls in.
Nice spin move to find some open space and then finish with the left hand.
15-11 Hoosiers, 10-19 left in the first half. Connor Enright bounces it to Bailey between the rings. Bailey looking to hand it off to Wilkerson, can't do so. Finds a back cutter in DeVries, who gets fouled going up. Couldn't make the basket, but he'll take his first trip to the charity stripe.
That was a really nice pass by Reed Bailey. His back was turned to the direction that Tucker DeVries was going, and he just kind of shoveled it backhanded almost to, or it was a nice pass from Bailey to Tucker DeVries. A really, really nice touch on that pass, but DeVries got fouled going up.
We've talked about the assists from this team as the first free throw goes through for DeVries. Part of the reason that assists have been so prominent is because they're so creative. These guys feel like they've played together all their entire lives, but really it's only been a couple months. Second free throw also good for DeVries. 17-11 lead for IU. And something on the floor. Referee has to pick it up, take it off. So with 10:09 left in the first half, Lindenwood will inbound, take it from left to right, trailing by 6. And it's Makai Cooper who just checked back in, taking it across the timeline for the Lions. Guarded closely by Enright, works to the near corner, gives it up. Triple on the way from Futrell, long, just off the far part of the rim, and it goes out of bounds.
Yeah, that's another example of good ball movement by Lindenwood. Futrell was open coming off that screen on the right side and just way too long on the shot.
And the Lions now 0 for 5 from beyond the arc. Their shooting woes continue. The Hoosiers with a 17-11 lead, just under 10 minutes to play. Tucker DeVries in the right lane, kicks it out. Enright tries a corner triple, and he connects. A rare three from Connor Enright. That's only his third made of the season on his 10th attempt. He makes it 20-11 IU with 9.5 remaining. Futrell, top of the key, tries to hand it off. It's poked away by Lamar Wilkerson. Wilkerson in the left lane, gets his man in the air, puts it up and in off the window. Lindenwood wanted to travel. They won't get it.
Looked like Wilkerson may have slid his pivot foot right there, but the shot fake, a great job of getting the defender up in the air and then cashing in the easy two.
9 minutes left in the first half, a 22-11 lead for Indiana. And an off-the-ball foul. They get Jadis Jones as Lamar Wilkerson was making his job hard on defense.
Yeah, it looked like a moving screen there from Jadis Jones. Enright trying to fight through it. And you go back a couple possessions ago, Enright was wide open in the corner. He doesn't shoot a lot of threes, but that was an easy catch-and-shoot look. Probably one of the least difficult looks he's going to get all season.
Enright didn't attempt a single shot in the season opener against Alabama and A&M. He's attempted a few more, but really he's a pass-first player, which is rare these days in college basketball. A nice pass to a cutting Lamar Wilkerson. He goes down a little awkwardly, still on the floor on his back. The entire team of Hoosiers, the 5 that are on the floor over there.
Looks like he just may have needed a second to catch his breath, but it also looks like he's favoring his right leg. It was kind of awkward the way he went down. I don't know if he landed awkwardly or jammed his knee or something, but it did look like he got up very gingerly there. That's something to keep an eye on.
He's walking totally fine to the charity stripe now. Even gave Darren DeVries, his head coach, a thumbs up as he connects on the first free throw. It's Wilkerson, Bailey, Connerway, Enright, and DeVries out there for Indiana, the starting 5, as the Hoosiers lead 23-11. Makai Cooper, Dontrez Williams, Jadis Jones, Milos Nenadic, and Clayton Jackson, the 5 out there for the Lions, as the second free throw is strong from Lamar Wilkerson. 23-11 lead for IU. Top of the key, Makai Cooper bounces it to Jadis Jones. He gets it back on a pick and roll, tries to lay it up and in with the right, just a little strong. It rolls off the iron, and Reed Bailey gets the rebound, takes it from right to left. Bailey finds DeVries on the left wing. 23-11 Indiana lead, 8.5 left to play in the first half. DeVries on the left block, spins, puts up a shot, can't get a friendly roll off the right side of the rim, and it falls for the Lions. Quickly in transition, Jones drives from the left wing, stopped by DeVries, kick out. Milos Nenadic thought about a 3, drives, hands it back off to Jones, kick it around the horn all the way to the left wing, triple on the way. Makai Cooper just short. He tracks down the rebound, but just stepped out of play as he was getting to it.
Yeah, tough there from Makai Cooper. Good job going to get his own rebound, and then after a couple steps after he stepped out of bounds, he actually made the 3 falling over the baseline. Unfortunately, it didn't count because he stepped on the sideline.
He drilled it. That was a pretty shot.
Yeah, and that was not easy. That looked like Tyrese Halliburton hitting that game winner against the Bucks last year.
Oh, man, what a shot.
Yeah.
Pacers definitely missing him right now at this point in the season.
Him and their entire rotation from last year.
It's 23-11 here in Assembly Hall. Just under 8 minutes to play. Sam Alexis just checked in. He hands it off to Tucker DeVries between the rings. Finds Lamar Wilkerson, right corner triple off the front of the rim. And Jadis Jones doing a good job pulling that rebound down with Trent Sisley behind him. Top of the key, Milos Nenadic lets it fly off the heel of the rim. And a rebound all the way at the free throw line for Sam Alexis. 23-11, still Hoosiers, 7.5 to play. Tucker DeVries on the left wing with the basketball, bounces it to Sam Alexis at the top of the key. Alexis finds Wilkerson, who drives from the left wing, gets in the lane, puts up a floater, and gets it to fall. Pretty move from Lamar Wilkerson. Those only his 5th points of the first half. It's 25-11 Hoosiers, 7 minutes left to play. And Lamar Wilkerson thought that he tapped it out of bounds off of Dontrez Williams on the far side, but referees say no. It will be Lindenwood basketball when we come back. 25-11 lead for Indiana with about 7 minutes left in the first half. We'll be right back on 99.1 WIUX. Back here in Simon Scott Assembly Hall, 25-11 lead for the Hoosiers, and the offense has started to cook finally for IU in this one against the Lions. The Hoosiers 5 for their last 7, an 8-0 scoring run over the last 2.5 minutes. This is what we've come to expect from the Indiana offense.
Yeah, and also for Lindenwood, Indiana's defense is giving them fits right now. 3 of 20 from the floor, 0 of 7 from 3, and that is the difference in this game. Lindenwood's getting some decent looks, but just cannot pay them off. And you talk about Indiana's pressure, especially from Lamar Wilkerson and Tatum Connerway. It doesn't necessarily show up in the stat sheet, but those guys are 2 of Indiana's best defenders.
Tatum Connerway just plays pesky basketball.
Extremely.
The entire 40 minutes he is pressing as Lindenwood has the basketball, moving from left to right, inbound from the far sideline. Clayton Jackson gets it and takes it all the way to the right wing. Jackson, a couple of screens, gets it to Futrell on the right wing, down low to Milos Nenadic on the block. Nenadic fighting against Alexis, spins towards the hoop, puts up a wild right-handed shot that doesn't fall, but a rebound for Futrell. He kicks it out, a drive from Dontrez Williams is blocked. He somehow finds the basketball, puts up a right-handed layup. That one's long. Rebound for Nenadic, who can't even hit the rim, just finds all backboard. Still, Williams gets the rebound, and finally, Indiana comes up with a takeaway when Williams gave it away. Crazy offensive possession coming out of the break. Indiana comes up with a stop still, and Connor Enright has the ball for the Hoosiers, who move from right to left and have a 25-11 lead. Wilkerson driving from the left wing, got it stripped away by Williams. He finds Cooper moving from left to right quickly. Corner triple, Jackson just short. Rebound for Futrell. He'll kick it out straight away, 3. Makai Cooper can't hit on the left side of the rim. And Trent Sisley comes down with the rebound. The shooting woes continue. Sisley tries a 3 from the right wing, and that's good for Indiana. Lindenwood just can't buy a 3. 0 for 9 from beyond the arc in this first half. It's 27-11 Indiana, just under 6 minutes left to play in the first half. Clayton Jackson driving right lane, puts up a shot, gets it to fall, and gets fouled by Connor Enright. He got in the lane, went straight up. Enright thought he was vertical the entire way, but just a little too much contact.
It didn't look like Enright was set there. He just kind of, and that it's not even really a mismatch. Enright's only an inch shorter than Clayton Jackson, but that's one of the first good things we've been able to say about Lindenwood's offense so far in this game, especially on these last couple of possessions for them. They're getting open looks. I mean, we saw them miss 2 or 3 layups in one possession. The shots just are not falling for them right now.
Jackson, 81% free throw shooter, connects on the 3-point play. It makes it 27-14. Indiana leads. 5:40 left in the first half. Enright takes it from right to left for the Hoosiers, hands it off to Wilkerson on the right wing, and now Alexis with the basketball top of the key. Wilkerson didn't like any of the passes that he had, so he hands it off to Enright, and now left wing, it is Tucker DeVries. 10 seconds to shoot. Enright on the right wing, double-teamed, and the C finally parts. He gets it to the near corner. Tucker DeVries connects from distance. DeVries' second 3 in this game. He's got 6 points, 2 for 4 from beyond the arc. 30-14, Indiana leading with 5 minutes left to play in the first. Clayton Jackson, top of the key with the basketball as the Lions move from left to right, and Enright hits the deck. They've got a foul on Lindenwood.
Yeah, Robert Lewis there, a moving screen, just kind of didn't keep track of where he was going right there as he sent Connor Enright to the floor, and it just, Lindenwood was bottom 35 in the country in KenPom coming into today, and I think you can see why. It's just on one end the shots don't fall. On the other end, if you're doubling out near the timeline, that means somebody's open, and Indiana shooters are so good they're going to make you pay.
Tayton Connerway and Nick Dorn checking in for Connor Enright and Lamar Wilkerson. Tucker DeVries with the basketball in the right corner, drives to the free throw line, stops near the left block, has to kick it out to Connerway. 13 seconds to shoot for IU. DeVries gets an open look left wing and just misses it short. A rare open look miss from beyond the arc for DeVries. Lindenwood moving it quickly from left to right. Futrell tries a triple. That can't get a friendly roll off the front of the rim. It's 30-14 Indiana. The Hoosiers taking it from right to left with 4.5 left to play in the first. Connerway drives under the hoop. Kick out. Dorn, corner, triple. Good! Nick Dorn can knock him down when he wants to. That's only the second one he's made, but he's only attempted 5. He's got quite the stroke from beyond the arc as well. 33-14 Indiana. 4 minutes left to play in the first half. Clayton Jackson drives in the right lane, gets fouled by Connerway before he could put a shot up. And so it'll stay on this end with Lindenwood. The Lions have made 1 of their last 12 shots from the field.
4 for 28 from the floor for Lindenwood in this first half. 0 of 10 from 3. They're actually out-rebounding Indiana right now, 19-18. But just, the offense is just not there right now.
Makai Cooper with a baseline inbound, gets it to Jadis Jones. Bounce pass to a cutter, and Cooper, it got blocked by the Hoosiers. Lamar Wilkerson takes it into the front court from right to left, under 4 minutes to play. And a nasty jab step from Josiah Miles, but he can't bank in a 3. 33-14 Indiana. Moving quickly, Dontrez Williams gets in the right lane. He's blocked by Sam Alexis. It still comes down for Jadis Jones, who spins, can't get a one-handed floater to fall. Milos Nenadic with the rebound again. And a foul on Indiana all over the place to come to the under 4 media timeout. It's 33-14 Hoosiers. 3.5 minutes to play. We'll be right back to bring you the final 3.5 of the first half on 99.1 WIUX. Welcome back to Bloomington, Indiana. Simon Scott, Assembly Hall, Graham Nash, and Nick Rodecap with you here in the hall. It's a 33-14 lead For the Indiana Hoosiers, IU absolutely finding it on offense, really blowing out Lindenwood last couple of minutes. But, man, the Lions finding the boards, out-rebounding Indiana currently.
Yeah, and a lot of it has to do with the offensive glass for Lindenwood. 12 offensive boards, 22 total rebounds. But Graham Nash, you know what they say about offensive rebounds? If you have a lot of offensive rebounds, then you're probably missing a lot of shots. And that's kind of the case for Lindenwood. They've actually already eclipsed their season average in offensive rebounds, and we're not even done with the first half yet. And they're also 4 of 31 from the floor when going into today, Lindenwood was scoring nearly 80 points per game. So an off shooting night, is it the backdrop of Assembly Hall? I don't know what it is, but I'd have to imagine they're going to score more than 9 points in the second half.
The Lions also 0 for 10 from beyond the arc as they inbound it. Makai Cooper gets a quick mid-range jumper just off the right elbow to fall. And a good way to start out of the break as the Lions just look to creep a little bit closer to the Hoosiers going into the halftime break. It's 33-16 IU with 3:20 left to play. Tucker DeVries from the left wing finds Tayton Conaway at the logo. He dribbles to the right wing, spins to the baseline, met by Milos Nenadic, has to kick it out straight away. Wide open look. Lamar Wilkerson can't hit. It falls off the right side of the rim. Second try for Tucker DeVries. He's short. And Nenadic gets the rebound for the Lions, moves it from left to right himself. IU still with a 33-16 lead, under 3 minutes to play. Nenadic, free throw line jumper, strong off the heel, a rebound for Alexis. And Tayton Conaway takes it from right to left for Indiana. 2:45 left to play. Sam Alexis off a pick and roll, kicks it out to the corner. Nick Dorn stepped out. And that is going to make it Lindenwood basketball with 2:41 left to play.
Yeah, Nick Dorn trying to get to his spot right there. That's where he made the first three of the game from that coffin corner. But right there, I think he just ran out of space. But if you're looking at Indiana, this is now back-to-back first halves where the Hoosiers' opponent has scored at or under 20 points. And that is really impressive regardless of the caliber of competition.
It's 33-16 Indiana. As Milos Nenadic tries to drive from the left wing on Sam Alexis. Didn't get very much room. Kicks it out to Makai Cooper, who drives to the left side. His jumper short. And Tayton Conaway gets the rebound, spins as he tries to take it across the timeline, and now will. Moving from right to left, he gets fouled going into the lane. And Indiana in the bonus. That's going to be shots for Tayton Conaway. The Hoosiers on a scoring drought of over 2 minutes now. Bit noticeable, but when it's this inflated of a lead, it's kind of hard to think of.
Yeah, and you think about it's actually very similar, it feels like, to the Incarnate Word game in the first half. Shots aren't falling, but you're leaning on the defense to build the lead. Indiana's getting a lot of open looks. I mean, on a couple possessions ago, Lamar Wilkerson and Tucker DeVries both had open looks and could not get them to fall. But the ball movement and the shot fakes, the footwork, and Josiah Miles had a nice jab step and couldn't pay it off. They're creating the looks, and this team is so good. The shots in the long term are going to fall.
Conaway hit the front end of the 1-and-1, trying for the second. It's strong off the heel. No good for Tayton Conaway. 34-16 lead for Indiana. 2 minutes and 10 seconds left in the first half. Makai Cooper takes it across the timeline from left to right, dumps it off for Jones just inside the free throw line. His push shot is strong, and Trent Sisley comes down with the rebound for IU. Gives it up to Tayton Conaway, who takes it across the half-court line. He quickly finds Lamar Wilkerson, who can't connect on a free throw line jumper, just too strong off the heel. And Dontrez Williams gets the rebound for the Lions. Williams drives into the right lane, kicks it out for Futrell, who drives himself right in front of the cup, fights through the contact, and gets a shot to go off glass.
Futrell just made Trent Sisley kind of open his hips toward the basket and blew right by him. That was a really good job of getting into the paint.
34-18 Indiana, minute and a half left. The Hoosiers trying to hold Lindenwood under 20 points in the first half for the second straight game. They did that against Incarnate Word just last weekend, as we've got a foul on the Hoosiers. We got Sam Alexis. It's going Lindenwood's way.
I think that's the first offensive foul of the game for Indiana. But if you're Lindenwood, as I think they're going to use their use it or lose it timeout right here, if you're Lindenwood, I think you've got to be kind of encouraged that you're still hanging with Indiana, even if, the shots are not going your way, and that's putting it very lightly. But to stay within 20 points, I'd say, given the way you shot the ball, is pretty encouraging.
I mean, 0 for 10 from 3. If they just make a third of those, this is still not necessarily a close game, but more within reach, much more manageable for Lindenwood.
I think the scoreboard is very wrong. The in-arena scoreboard has it at 34-18 Indiana. I think the score is 32-13 in favor of Indiana. I don't know how Lindenwood got 5 extra points and Indiana got 2 extra points, but something is very off.
You're definitely right.
Yeah.
Stat broadcast is saying 32-13.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
I don't know where Lindenwood got 5 extra points from.
Well, we're not exactly sure what the score is here in Assembly Hall at this point.
I'm going to say it's 32-13 Indiana.
We'll rock with 32-13. Lindenwood taking it from left to right off the inbound. Makai Cooper drops it off for Dontrez Williams. Gets in the right lane. His shot blocked underneath by Wilkerson. And Tucker DeVries gets the basketball, pushes it up ahead. Wilkerson, left wing triple, short off the front of the rim. A rebound for Jadis Jones, who will take it across the timeline himself from left to right. Futrell thought about a straightaway three. Finds Jadis Jones, who drives from the left side. Trying to kick it out to Nenadic, taken away by Bailey. Bodies on the floor. Bailey able to keep possession for Indiana. Tucker DeVries is going to take it from right to left. Fires a pass up ahead to Sicily. Hands it off for Enright in the left lane. Dumps it off for Bailey, who gets blocked from behind by Dontrez Williams. But it goes out of play off of Lindenwood. It's going to stay Indiana basketball with 37.7 seconds left in the first half.
Both teams have gone really cold shooting the basketball. Indiana without a field goal in over 4 minutes.
Tucker DeVries falls off an inbound, somehow keeps possession, able to give it up. And the Hoosiers have 12 seconds on the shot clock. Baseline drive, Wilkerson kick out, Sicily right wing three, short. Rebound for Jadis Jones. Shot clock's dark for the Lindenwood Lions, who trail 32-13 here in the first half. Makai Cooper with the ball at the Indiana logo. 13 seconds left to play in the first half. Lindenwood going to try for the last shot. Cooper across a couple different screens, dumps it off for Nenadic, top of the key, 5 seconds to shoot. Gets in the right lane, throws up a prayer. It goes out of bounds off of Tucker DeVries. And with 1.9 seconds left, the Lions have a baseline inbound opportunity between the hoop and the Indiana bench on the far side of the floor. Makai Cooper going to trigger in for the Lions. 1.9 to shoot. The Lions moving, poked immediately by Connor Enright, and it's still Lindenwood basketball. Now 0.9 on the first half clock. 32-13 lead for Indiana. Quickly into Jadis Jones. It can't go. And that is going to end the first half. It says 34-18 on the Simon Skjodt Assembly Hall scoreboard, but pretty sure it's 32-13.
That sounds more right. Maybe we split the difference. Maybe it's 33-15.
There
I don't know.
So, somewhere in that range. But regardless, for the second straight game, Indiana holds its opponent to under 20 points in the first half. It wasn't always pretty, Nick, and Indiana still getting out-rebounded by Lindenwood, but the Hoosiers still with a great defensive start.
Yeah, and BTN actually just put up a graphic. This is the fewest first-half points Indiana has allowed since January 2022 against Penn State. Under 20 points, Indiana's opponents now in back-to-back first halves. That is really encouraging that, again, Indiana can lean on the defense, get stop after stop after stop, even as the shots are not falling. But it is kind of concerning now because this is now back-to-back games at Assembly Hall where Indiana has really struggled to shoot. Under 35% from three, just, I don't know. It seems like Indiana might be very one-dimensional because there's really no post play to speak of when you're not that big in the paint. So if you can't shoot from outside, how are you going to score in bunches? And Indiana maybe hasn't figured that out just yet.
And Sam Alexis, who was that big body when the shooting went cold against Incarnate Word, only 4 points to speak of in that first half. The leading scorer for Indiana, currently Tucker DeVries and Tayton Connerway, each of them with 6 points. But DeVries, 2 for 7 from the field, 2 for 6 from beyond the arc. Indiana as a whole shooting 37% from the floor. This team shooting over 50% from the field through the first 4 games. That's going to do it for first half action. When we come back, Nick Rodecap will be on play-by-play to carry you through the rest of the way. But until then, we've got Connor Choi, and we've got some time for a halftime show. We'll be right back in Simon Skjodt Assembly Hall on 99.1 WIUX.
Welcome back to Simon Scott Assembly Hall alongside Graham Nash, Nick Rotacap with you. Indiana leads Lindenwood 34-18 at halftime. And Graham Nash, I would go through halftime stats with you, but the stat feed here at Assembly Hall is currently down, messed up, broken in some capacity. So all the stats I will give you are rough approximations. Indiana shooting under 40% from the floor, but holding Lindenwood, and this is real, 7 of 39 shooting the basketball in the first half for the second straight game. Excuse me. For the second straight game, Indiana leads on its defense.
Yeah, the defense has been phenomenal for Indiana, but also just a bit of unlucky shooting for Lindenwood. I mean, 0 for 10 from beyond the arc. That is not normal for this Lions team. The Lions shooting 31% over the first 4 games from 3, attempting 87 threes, which is 6th most in the OVC. So it's not like Indiana's defense has been the be-all, end-all, but, man, Lindenwood has just gotten unlucky to a certain degree, not being able to connect on some shots that typically have fallen for him over the last couple of games. Just a bit of ugly basketball on both sides.
And ugly basketball on both sides, a very good way to describe this one, because Indiana not faring too much better. I wouldn't even say that this has been a defensive battle so much as it's just been a lot of kind of poor shot making, because Indiana and Lindenwood have both had plenty of open looks, but they just cannot get them to fall. So as we have them at this juncture, the leading scorers, no player from either team is in double figures. For Indiana, Tatum Connerway and Tucker DeVries have 6 points apiece, and Sam Alexis has 4. Lamar Wilkerson has 5. For Lindenwood, well, their leading scorer, the Lions, with 4 points is Robert Lewis, and they've got 2 players with 3 points and then a couple players with 2 points as well. But that's what you get when you've got a halftime score of 34-18 between two teams who are both averaging over 75 points per game. We'll see if maybe the halftime scoring pace, the second half scoring pace ratchets up a little bit, because these are two teams that can rain down some buckets, but it just hasn't been that way so far.
Yeah, nothing really has been going for either side. I mean, I think for Indiana to close out that first half, Lamar Wilkerson and Tucker DeVries, 2 of the best shooters, not just on this team, but maybe in the conference, missed wide open threes, straightaway looks. Just don't see that too often from either of those guys. So it really has just been slow on both ends, and both teams are looking for a little bit of a spark to start out this second half.
And you think it back to Indiana's game on Sunday against Incarnate Word. The Hoosiers were outscored 42-34 in the second half of that game after holding Incarnate Word under 20 points in the first half. Darren DeVries, it was because, well, 1, Incarnate Word shot over 50%, and 2, Indiana's energy wasn't quite all there. So this is an opportunity for Indiana here to learn from that experience and not make the same mistake twice. We will see if the Hoosiers can do that. 20 minutes on the clock from Assembly Hall, 34-18 our score as we begin the second half. Original starting 5 out there for both teams. We will set the lineups as we go. Not Incarnate Word. This is Lindenwood moving right to left. As we see it, Makai Cooper brings it across the timeline for the Lions, and we are back underway from Assembly Hall. High post, it's Milos Nenadic, harassed by Reed Bailey. Nenadic dribbling right towards the corner, hands it back off. And off of screen, dribbling to the baseline, Clayton Jackson makes a long 2. Lindenwood opens the second half scoring, and it's 34-20 as Indiana moves left to right in its white uniforms with red numerals, letters, and trim. Tatum Connerway handles point duties. He's out there with Lamar Wilkerson, who gets it at the free throw line, dribbles into the paint, looks for help, and dishes back out to Connerway. Wilkerson right of center, 10 on the shot clock, gets it to Bailey at the high post. Handoff to Tucker DeVries. DeVries into the far corner. Tatum Connerway hoists a 3 and leaves it short. Rebound tipped into the hands of Jadis Jones for Lindenwood. Across the timeline comes Makai Cooper dribbling left to right. And into the far corner, Clayton Jackson gets it back to Cooper at the top. Here's Nenadic, once again harassed by Reed Bailey. Driving right of the lane, gets fouled by Bailey, puts it off glass, negative. But Nenadic will head to the line with a chance for 2.
It's really felt like more of the same to start the second half. A pretty bucket from Clayton Jackson, but other than that, some drives here and there, no one really open. Not that quick, fast ball movement from Indiana that we've become accustomed to over the first couple of games, just kind of getting lost in the paint.
Makai Cooper, Dontrez Williams, Milos Nenadic, Jadis Jones, and Clayton Jackson on the floor for Lindenwood as Nenadic makes his first of 2 free throws. And for Indiana, it's Reed Bailey, Lamar Wilkerson, Connor Enright, Tatum Connerway, and Tucker DeVries. Nenadic, facing the Indiana student section, fires the second free throw and hits it. It is 34-22 Indiana over Lindenwood. Now the Lions bring some full court pressure as Tatum Connerway takes it back up the floor for Indiana. The Hoosiers lead back down to 12. Connerway on the right side gets it to DeVries, perimeter right. Tucker DeVries matched up against Jadis Jones, gets it to Lamar Wilkerson on the baseline right of center, dribbling into the lane. Wilkerson fades away and misses the shot off the heel. Another rebound for Jadis Jones. Back-to-back empty possessions to start the second half for Indiana. Makai Cooper dribbling to the middle, gets a screen from Nenadic, does not pass to him, instead finds Clayton Jackson on the left perimeter. Jackson wants a clear out, gets to the free throw line, stops in the paint, loses the handle. It's picked up by Jadis Jones with 10 on the shot clock. Jones dribbling towards the far corner, matched up with Tucker DeVries, lowers his shoulder, lays it off the glass, no good, and he gets his own rebound. Back to the rim he goes, misses the layup, but he is fouled. And great effort there in the paint on the second chance opportunity by Jadis Jones. He's got a chance to pay it off at the free throw line.
And Darren DeVries, the head coach for Indiana, just livid about these last couple of possessions and Indiana's inability to get those rebounds. The offensive boards for Lindenwood has been at an unbelievable clip this entire game. Still, again, stat broadcast a little bit off, but that would be about 14-15 offensive boards for Lindenwood.
Jones makes the first free throw as Indiana goes to the bench early. Reed Bailey to the bench now with 3 fouls. Tatum Connerway also checks out. Coming back in, Sam Alexis and Trent Sisley. Lindenwood has cut the Indiana lead to 11. If Jones makes the second of 2 free throws, it's back down to 10. Lefty shooter on the way, and he knocks it home. And indeed, Indiana's lead is back down to 10. A very low-scoring game. 34-24, Indiana over Lindenwood. 18 minutes left in this second half. Connor Enright crosses the timeline, finds Trent Sisley perimeter left into Sam Alexis at the high post. Alexis hands off to Lamar Wilkerson at the top, and Wilkerson had his pocket picked, but a foul on the floor assessed to Makai Cooper. Didn't see a whole lot of contact there, but Indiana gets it on the sideline in front of its own bench.
Yeah, I thought they would have called Nenadic with that foul, but they get Cooper wrapping around him.
Inbound comes from Connor Enright to Sam Alexis, and Alexis back to Tucker DeVries near the timeline. 13 on the shot clock. Alexis high post, middle of the floor to Lamar Wilkerson, wide open on the right wing, and he leaves the 3-ball short. Rebound far side to Dontrez Williams. Up the floor quickly, Jadis Jones into the paint, barrels through Connor Enright, and they got Enright for a blocking foul, which would be his second of the game. Indiana really stagnant to start this second half. The Hoosiers have not scored 2.5 minutes in.
Yeah, it feels freakishly similar to that Incarnate Word game, just starting really slow. Again, a pretty open 3 for Lamar Wilkerson, a look you love if you're Darren DeVries, and it doesn't go down. Indiana's just been oddly cold over the last couple of games.
Jadis Jones has made 3 straight free throws, and Incarnate Word perhaps watching and looking on and saying, hey, we know what this is like. Lindenwood has cut it back to single digits. Jones bends the knees, fires up the second free throw and makes it, and it's 34-26. A sparse Indiana crowd, perhaps getting a little restless here at Assembly Hall. Connor Enright crosses the timeline, fast-paced handoff to Trent Sisley. Sisley dribbling toward the middle of the floor outside the arc. Near side it comes to Tucker DeVries. Long cross-court pass. Wilkerson in the corner, bluffs a 3 and puts it on the floor with 10 on the shot clock. Back to the middle, it's Trent Sisley near the timeline, out to Connor Enright. Into the corner now, Alexis, hands off back to Enright, driving baseline, bounce past Alexis in the lane, 3 on the shot clock, Sisley underneath, lays it up negative, rebounded by Nenadic. 28 seconds off the shot clock there, but no points for Indiana yet again. Across half court comes Makai Cooper, the point guard for Lindenwood, and all alone is Nenadic in the paint. He slams it home with 2 hands, and Darren DeVries has to call a timeout. These Indiana fans have had nothing to cheer about. Lindenwood has cut this down to a 6-point Indiana lead with 16:56 left in the second half. Trouble, perhaps, for the Hoosiers here at home. We'll take a quick break, be right back on the other side of it. You're listening to Indiana Basketball on WIUX. Back here at Assembly Hall, second consecutive bye game where things have been hairy to say the least. Alongside Graham Nash, Nick Rodecap with you. 34-28, Indiana leads Lindenwood. And Lindenwood has opened the second half on a 10-0 run, and Graham, Indiana has just been very poor on both sides of the floor to start the second half.
Yeah, to begin the half, on offense at least, it looked like it was because of a lack of ball movement. A couple different people would drive into the lane, get stopped, have to kick it out, and Lindenwood would then have control and read it the entire way. Last possession, ball movement was better, but man, couple of really good players for Indiana just missing open shots.
Indiana has not made a field goal in nearly 8 minutes of game time. The Hoosiers bring it across the floor, moving left to right in this second half. 16:48 to go, 34-28, the Indiana lead. Nice pass from the top from Connor Enright to Lamar Wilkerson, and Wilkerson breaks that scoring drought with a layup underneath the left side of the basket. 16.5 to go, the Hoosiers lead back out to 8 points. Clayton Jackson brings it across the timeline for Lindenwood. Jackson with 5 points in this game. Milos Nenadic at the high post had a dunk that sent Indiana into the last timeout. And a cross-court pass intercepted by Connor Enright. Tatum Connerway running the floor, has the ball swatted out of his hands by Dontrez Williams. And Connerway settles underneath the basket, holding his head. He may have gotten slapped in the cranium right there.
Yeah, didn't look too comfortable. He went up high, and it was just a really hard challenge. A cross-body swipe from Lindenwood definitely got a lot of the body and head there of Connerway.
And as Williams went for that chase-down block, you could see Connerway's head follow the direction that Williams' arm did. So that tells you that Williams did hit Connerway up high, and Connerway misses the first of 2 free throws. So hairy for Indiana now. Back-to-back bye games where the second half scoring has been stagnant to say the least. And Lindenwood still in this game. Connerway's second free throw is good. Rattles around and down, and it's 37-28. Indiana over Lindenwood. 16:15 to go in this second half. Across the timeline is Jackson, pressured by Connor Enright. Jackson dribbling on the logo at center court. Gets it high post right to Milos Nenadic, and now a handoff to Aeneas Futrell, who tries a straight-on 3 and hits it. That's the first made 3 of the game for Lindenwood. The Lions now 1 of 11 from downtown. They've cut it back to a 6-point Indiana lead. Connerway bounce pass inside the arc, left side. Tucker DeVries had it poked out of his hands and gets it back. Alexis, top of the key, and now Enright on the near side, outside the arc. 2-man game, back to Alexis. He stops just shy of the paint. With 9 on the shot clock, kick out back to Connor Enright. Double teamed on the sideline, finds Tatum Connerway on the far perimeter. Into the paint, Tucker DeVries driving to the basket, lays it up and in with the right hand. Indiana worked the shot clock, but came away with 2 points. 15.5 to go, Indiana 39, Lindenwood 31. Jackson up top, gets it inside the paint to Jadis Jones, spinning toward the basket, lays it up negative. Rebounded by Sam Alexis, and Indiana wants to run in transition. Tatum Connerway fouled by Milos Nenadic, who got caught with his hand in the cookie jar. And that will take us to a media timeout. Indiana and Lindenwood trading baskets a little bit, and it's 39-31 Hoosiers at the 15-12 mark in this second half. You're listening to Indiana men's basketball on WIUX. Back here at Assembly Hall, Indiana 39, Lindenwood 31. 15-12 to go in the second half. Alongside Graham Nash, Nick Rodecap with you. Graham, the scoring pace has ratcheted up a little bit from the first 4 minutes or so of this half, but Indiana is still not able to pull away from Lindenwood. The shots just are not falling, and on the other side, some defensive lapses have given Lindenwood a chance to get back into this game.
Yeah, it's been wild. Lindenwood starting to find its offense. Saw the first 3 of the game for the Lions go down. And Indiana, they're starting to pick up a little bit more. I think it's been because they've started to work it more inside. The Hoosiers over the past, this game and the last one against Incarnate Word, when things go south, they keep chucking threes, and it hasn't gone in. I think they got to keep working in the paint.
Hoosiers have the ball in the front court out of the media timeout. Tatum Connerway up top, double-teamed, loses the handle, and gets it back. He's fouled in the process by a Lindenwood player. I think they got Aeneas Futrell for that.
I think you're right.
Connerway had it tipped out of his hand and was chasing it down through a pair of Lindenwood defenders right there, and they may have gotten Clayton Jackson for a hook and hold. So Indiana inbounding baseline right, 20 on the shot clock. Up top, it's Tucker DeVries, guarded by Makai Cooper. A 7-inch height advantage for Tucker DeVries. Passes it off up top to Tatum Connerway with 10 on the timer. Now Lamar Wilkerson tries a deep 3 from left of center. Misses off the heel. Rebounded by Clayton Jackson. Wilkerson now 0 of 6 from beyond the arc. Far corner, dribbling into the lane. Jadis Jones tries to lay it up, and he got fouled underneath the basket by Indiana's Tucker DeVries. So on one end, Indiana misses the three, and on the other end, Indiana fouls and sends Lindenwood back to the stripe. Lindenwood a perfect 10 of 10 from there so far this evening.
And it looked like on that last play, Lamar Wilkerson just got lost. He totally on defense. That was his man. Jadis Jones was his man, and he got lost. So Tucker DeVries had to come help and was left in an awkward position. Tried to go vertical, but just couldn't avoid that contact because Jones was barreling downhill.
Jones missed the first free throw. Facing the student section, he takes a deep breath, bounces twice with the left hand, spins the ball, fires the second free throw, and he missed them both. Coming in for the rebound was Dontrez Williams for Lindenwood, and in doing so, he hit Tayton Connerway in the face and sent him spinning to the floor underneath the basket. That's now twice Tayton Connerway's been hit up high. So Indiana gets the ball out of bounds, but because a Lindenwood player missed two free throws, Indiana fans in attendance will get free Finney fries. That's why you heard all the cheering.
That's got to be the loudest cheer of the half.
Yeah, this crowd has not had much to cheer about either way. 14:35 to go. Indiana 39, Lindenwood 31. The Hoosiers struggling to pull away from one of the bottom 10 teams in KenPom in the nation. Tucker DeVries cutting to the basket, misses a layup moving left to right, and bodies hit the floor for both teams as Robert Lewis and Sam Alexis go tumbling. Foul on Indiana means Lindenwood gets the ball, having to go the length of the floor. And Graham, it just seems like Indiana's offense has gone completely cold right now.
Yeah, when Tucker DeVries is missing layups right at the cup, that's never a good sign. But because it's that cold, I think that's a sign that it truly is just an off stretch and not something that will become a habit.
Makai Cooper dribbling right, bounces baseline to Jadis Jones. Kick out back to the top. Futrell lets go a three, misses it short. Rebound tipped to the near side and controlled by Tayton Connerway for Indiana. Pushes ahead to Alexis, who tried to dunk it, came down and gathered himself. Put up a layup and missed, but he was fouled in the act by Jadis Jones for Lindenwood. And so Alexis will go to the stripe. I think they actually got Robert Lewis on that foul. It would be Lewis's third of the evening. Alexis to the stripe to shoot two. And Alexis taking a second to tuck in his jersey. That's already Lindenwood's sixth foul of this second half. Alexis' first free throw is on the way and flush. So Indiana shooting 1-1 the rest of the way for any fouls on the floor. The Hoosiers have committed 4 fouls, so still a couple away from being in the penalty. Alexis takes a deep breath. Ready for his second free throw. It's on the way and good. So Indiana back out to a 10-point lead, 41-31 with 14 minutes left. As Lindenwood crosses the timeline with Jadis Jones, handing off to Makai Cooper. Cooper trying to set up a screen with Jones. Instead, they play Pepper. Jones from the top, and Cooper misses the three. Alexis with the rebound, tumbles back to the hardwood, and Milos Nenadic called for the foul as Alexis comes up fired up. And for Nenadic, that is his second foul, and the two of them were jostling for position right there. I didn't really see a lot.
No, I didn't either. I think they just got him going over the back and pulling towards the floor, towards the back of Alexis and bringing him down. Because Alexis did have pretty firm control of the basketball going up, but then he got kind of pulled backwards over his left shoulder going back to the floor.
So Alexis back to the line to shoot two more. Front end of the 1-and-1 is good. And Indiana struggling at the line against Incarnate Word. Kind of uncharacteristic, 18 of 26. That's under 70%. Doing a little bit better here this evening against Lindenwood, as Alexis has now made 4 straight, and Indiana is 10 of 13 as a team. Hoosiers stretching this lead back out on a 6-0 run. It's 43-31 with 13:48 to go, and now the Indiana fans trying to get some energy back into this place. Clayton Jackson will bring it across the timeline for Lindenwood. He's picked up there by Connor Enright. Jackson dribbling between the legs on the logo at center court. Gets a screen from Nenadic. Pick and pop. Nenadic fakes the three. Back to Jackson. Jackson dribbling into the lane on the left side. Laid it up too hard. And Alexis down with the rebound. Enright pushing the tempo in transition. Tucker DeVries rejects the three, gets it into the corner for Nick Dorn, driving to the cup. He missed the layup, and another foul on Lindenwood, and another trip to the line for Indiana. This time it's Nick Dorn's turn.
And a lot more motion and just energy in that last drive for Indiana. Clearly that in transition, that quick movement, that can breathe some life back into this team. Really, really just down, slow tempo, not something we've become used to seeing from Indiana. Those in transition, quick pace opportunities might be exactly what IU needs to just get a bit more energy.
Lindenwood head coach Kyle Gerdeman wants a 30-second timeout. We will keep it here. Lindenwood started this second half on a 10-0 run, and the Lions have now gone scoreless over the last 2.5 minutes, of their last 4 from the floor. The foul was on Aeneas Futrell, his second of the game. And already for Lindenwood, in this second half, that's 8 fouls. So they've got one more foul to give, and that's it for the final 13.5 of this game. And it seems like Indiana starting to kind of pull away largely because of those points at the free throw line.
Yeah, they're using a bit more physicality and size to draw those fouls, get to the free throw line, and that could really be what carries IU through this game to a decent win. It's never at this point going to be a good win because of how poor the shooting has been, but if you just kind of dig it out of the dirt and get a little bit more respect back from your ability to get to the free throw line and hit your free throws, that can at least get you leaving the hall with a bit better of a feeling of how this game went.
Nick Dorn at the free throw line following the timeout. First free throw is good. And so Dorn, the Elon transfer, has got 4 points. This is just his 3rd game of the year. He recovered from an offseason injury and made his debut 8 days ago against Milwaukee. Dorn bounces once. Second free throw is up and through the net. And so Indiana now back to a 14-point lead, 45-31. An 8-0 run for Indiana. See if Lindenwood has a response right here. Jackson pressured by Enright as he crosses the half-court stripe. Dribbling towards the middle. He wants some help. Now dribbling perimeter left. Still looking for a screen from Milos Nenadic. He gets it. Dribbles to the free throw line and kicks it back out to Jeremiah Talton. Around the horn to Dontrez Williams on the right side. And now between the rings back to Jackson. 7 on the shot clock and a whistle away from the ball. And a foul assessed to Indiana's Sam Alexis. That'll be his 3rd of the game. Just the 5th on Indiana in this half. So Lindenwood gets a fresh 20 on the shot clock.
And those have been the kind of plays that have really just sucked the air out of Indiana's play. You got a really good defensive stand going, a couple seconds left on the shot clock, and you commit a foul.
Dontrez Williams inbounds to Nenadic, right of center. Nenadic looking for help, holding the ball over his head, threw it straight into the arms of Indiana's Tatum Connerway. And now Connerway has the ball poked out of his hands from behind. And the ball goes untouched out of bounds. Aeneas Futrell was the one who swatted it away, but he and Clayton Jackson could not chase it down in time. So Indiana gets possession inbounding near the corner in the front court with 25 seconds on the shot clock.
Yeah, Connerway saw, I believe it was Jeremiah Talton coming from his right, but didn't see the other line coming from the left, so he slowed down and let Lindenwood catch up.
Connerway inbounds baseline left near the corner, gets it into Tucker DeVries, who fires up a 3 and knocks it down. A big bucket there for Tucker DeVries. Indiana's back out to a 17-point lead, 48-31. With 12:40 to go. Nenadic, top of the key, just inside the arc, dribbles right, fakes a handoff, and is looking for Clayton Jackson. He almost lost the ball, but Jackson grabs the pass just in front of his own bench. 10 seconds to work. Jackson gets the screen, dribbles toward the baseline, pressured heavily by Alexis. Inside to Nenadic, who falls to the floor, and the ball falls over the baseline. Sam Alexis is a defensive nightmare today for Lindenwood.
He's just using that length, really, really good size, and he does a great job solo trapping, and then credit to Connerway. He was guarding a much bigger Nenadic and still played his part in getting him to fall and drop that basketball.
Nenadic 6'10", Connerway 6'3", and Connerway was the one who forced the turnover. Connerway now in the front court for Indiana, harassed heavily by Makai Cooper on the logo. Connerway now to Tucker DeVries, dribbling right to left toward the perimeter. He hands it off to Lamar Wilkerson. 8 seconds on the shot clock, lobbing it in for Tucker DeVries. And a foul away from the ball there on Clayton Jackson and that'll take us to a timeout on the floor. 11:59 to go in the second half, 48-31. Indiana starting to stretch things out a little bit here at Assembly Hall. You're listening to Indiana men's basketball on WIUX. Back here at Assembly Hall, Indiana has opened up a 17-point lead over Lindenwood. 48-31 our score with 11:59 left in this second half. Alongside Graham Nash, Nick Rodecap with you. High atop Section K. We're about as high as the banners here in Assembly Hall. Indiana on an extended 14-3 run, and most of those points for the Hoosiers have come not from the floor, but at the free throw line. And it's good, if nothing else, if you're an Indiana fan, to see the Hoosiers finally pulling away in the second half.
Yeah, it's been because of those free throws, too. Again, a bit more of just ugly basketball, especially to start the second half. But sometimes those free throws, they can lead to a bit better shooting. Every time I see a player that's a really good shooter make free throws, I think for some reason of James Harden and how coaches would always say, don't let that dude get to the free throw line, because once he sees a couple go in, everything starts falling. And so that's, I think, what we're starting to see with Indiana a little bit. They're starting to see the ball go through the basket and re-find a bit more confidence. We saw Tucker DeVries just drill an impressive shot in the near corner, moving away from center court, and he still was able to knock it down. Those free throws could be exactly what they need to get back into this mindset of making everything from every point of the court.
Out of the timeout, Tucker DeVries will shoot 2 free throws. DeVries out there with Lamar Wilkerson, Nick Dorn, Tayton Connerway, and Sam Alexis. And for Lindenwood, it's Makai Cooper, Dontrez Williams, Milos Nenadic, Aeneas Futrell, and Jadis Jones. DeVries makes the front end of the 1-and-1. Lindenwood, with 9 fouls, has none left to give for the final 12 minutes of this second half. DeVries bounces twice. Second free throw is on the way and good. And so Tucker DeVries now has a game-high 15 points for Indiana. The Hoosiers lead 50-31. Bit of full-court pressure as Makai Cooper brings it across the timeline for Lindenwood. He's picked up by Tayton Connerway. Bounce pass perimeter right to Dontrez Williams. Williams gets a screen from Nenadic. Back to the top for Makai Cooper with 15 on the shot clock. Cooper near perimeter to Aeneas Futrell. Dribbling through a double team has Cooper open on the perimeter. A give and go back to Futrell, who fires a 3, and it's nothing but net for Aeneas Futrell. Indiana got caught chasing the ball right there, and Futrell now has 2 made 3-pointers in this game. 50-34 our score at the 11:25 mark. Connerway to Alexis inside the arc, just left of center. Alexis needs some help and finds Tucker DeVries at the right elbow. DeVries matched up with Jadis Jones, a couple big fellas going at it. DeVries backing down his man. The help side defense comes. DeVries pulls for a wild fadeaway and knocks it through. A tough shot there for Tucker DeVries. And Indiana now back out to an 18-point lead at 52-34. Cooper in the forecourt for Lindenwood. Gets it to Dontrez Williams, who gets a screen from Nenadic and dribbles into a double team all the way into the lane where he misses a right-handed layup. Alexis down with the board for the Hoosiers. Alexis now with 9 rebounds on the night. Tucker DeVries getting a screen from Alexis. Alex not to use it as his defender goes to the floor, and DeVries makes him pay. Jadis Jones ended up on his backside, and Tucker DeVries said, you know what, why not? I'll shoot the 3, I'll make it, and DeVries now has 20 of Indiana's 55 points. Indiana on an extended 18-3 run as Lindenwood has gone cold. Jadis Jones at the top, kicks it back out to Futrell, driving right of the lane, puts a layup high off glass, no good. And a foul on Tucker DeVries as it looked like he got Futrell on the arm right there.
And he can't believe it. He thought he did a really good job there of staying vertical. He was just hopping up and down in disbelief. But that, again, that's a bit of the momentum killer. I'm not sure if it's going to matter long term because, man, Tucker DeVries has found something. He's now knocking it down from everywhere on the court.
DeVries, just his second foul of the game. It sends Aeneas Futrell to the stripe for a pair. And if you're Lindenwood, it feels like it's now or never. As Futrell makes the first free throw, it bounced off the front of the iron and then off the backboard before it dropped. 55-35, Indiana leads. Tucker DeVries. 3 straight baskets for Indiana. For the West Virginia transfer who followed his dad from Charleston to Bloomington. Futrell readies for his second free throw. It's on the way, and it's good. So Futrell now with 10 points. He's the first Lindenwood player into double figures, and it comes at the halfway mark of the second half. Connerway crosses the timeline with haste. High pass handled by Lamar Wilkerson. Cross-court perimeter right. DeVries steps back for another three, and he banked it home. Tucker DeVries cannot miss right now. 23 points for DeVries. Futrell to the near corner. Jadis Jones fires up a three, misses short. Rebound grabbed by Lamar Wilkerson for Indiana. Wilkerson to the left side for Nick Dorn, who bluffs a three and steamrolls his way into the paint where he is fouled. And so Nick Dorn will shoot 2 free throws as Indiana is in the double bonus the rest of the way. But if you're banking in threes, then, well, it's a bad sign for your opponent. Tucker DeVries just can do no wrong right now.
No, he can. There's that shooter touch, that friendly hometown bounce, I guess you could call it, for Darren DeVries' son. And, man, he's just making it from all over. Went from a really, really slow first half to now shooting over 50% from beyond the arc. It's phenomenal how quickly something like that can turn around.
Nick Dorn missed the first free throw. His second on the way, he makes that one. 1 of 2 at the stripe for Dorn. And he goes to the bench and is replaced by Connor Enright. Taking Connerway also back into the game for Indiana. 9:43 to go. Indiana has opened this one up considerably. It's 59-36 as Lindenwood crosses the timeline with the ball in the hands of Makai Cooper. He gets a screen from Robert Lewis, and now Lewis has it underneath the basket on a give and go, but Lewis misses the baseline fadeaway. Rebound into the hands of Lamar Wilkerson for Indiana. Connerway on the right wing has DeVries at the top. Instead bounces down low to Alexis. DeVries is open in the corner, fading away for three. He missed this one. And the rebound into the hands of Jeremiah Talton after DeVries missed the heat check. Near corner, Futrell's open. He fires up a three, and he misses too strong. Rebound batted around into the hands of Wilkerson. Behind the back dribble gets him across the half-court stripe. Wilkerson all the way to the hole, misses off the underside of the rim. And Jadis Jones brings it down for the Lions. Frenetic pace here at Assembly Hall. Jones dribbling to the left block. He's picked up by Alexis. Kick out goes to Cooper. Cooper dribbles around a screen, rotates into the lane through 3 Indiana defenders, puts up a wild shot, and it falls after rolling around the rim. 8:39 to go. Indiana will slow things down. Hoosiers leading 59-38 as that basket from Cooper snaps a 2.5-minute scoring drought for Lindenwood. 15 on the shot clock. Connerway calls out a play from between the rings and dribbles right. Now back to Tucker DeVries, slightly left of the middle. Into the far corner. Wilkerson fakes a three and has the ball stripped out of his hands and controlled by Lindenwood's Makai Cooper as the Lions come up with a steal. Jeremiah Talton into the forecourt. Far corner, it's Robert Lewis. Back to Cooper on the right wing. Cooper now gives it up to Lewis, and around the horn they get it to Futrell. Futrell dribbles around a screen to the left elbow, pulls up for a jumper off the heel. Connerway elevates for the rebound, and now once again he's favoring his head as he may have gotten inadvertently hit. He brings it across the timeline. Under 8 minutes to go. 59-38, Indiana over Lindenwood. Connerway with a right-hand dribble. He's got those bright pink sneakers on. Bounces down low to Alexis. Kick out back to DeVries. Picked up by Jadis Jones. And DeVries gets an Alexis screen. Indiana rotates around to the far side for Connor Enright. Back to the top, and Connerway misses a three. Offensive rebound, Indiana. Wilkerson pays it off. Exhales and looks toward the sky as he makes a three. After starting the night 0 of 6, he finally scores from downtown. 62-38, Indiana really stretching this one out. And a timeout called by Lindenwood as the Hoosiers continue to pull away. 7:13 to go in this one. It's 62-38, Indiana over Lindenwood. Kyle Gerdeman wants a second to talk things over with the Lions. You're listening to Indiana Basketball on WIUX, your home for Hoosier sports. Back here at Assembly Hall, 7:13 to go. Indiana leads Lindenwood 62-38. He's Graham Nash. I'm Nick Rodecap. We thank you for joining us on this Thursday evening. Indiana finally heating up, and it's on the back of Tucker DeVries, who has a game-high 23 points on 5 made three-point baskets, and he's really shouldering the burden here for Indiana.
Yeah, shooting 50% from beyond the arc, really finding it in this second half. It was cold. It was a really cold first half. He only had 6 points in that first 20 minutes, but really finding something now.
Lindenwood with the ball in the forecourt after the media break. Makai Cooper, harassed by Lamar Wilkerson, gets a screen from Robert Lewis and dribbles inside the arc before kicking it out to the middle for Dontrez Williams. Rotate to the right side. Clayton Jackson into the lane. A nice right-handed finish, and he rattles it home for 2. And it's 62-40, Indiana over Lindenwood, as we've eclipsed the sub-7-minute mark. Connerway dribbling into the lane with a full head of steam finds Trent Sisley, who lays it in with the right hand. Couldn't quite dunk it, but it's 2 points at the rack either way. Cooper crossing the timeline now for Lindenwood. Rejects a screen, dribbles toward the corner. Picked up by Wilkerson, and then they get it back to the top for Clayton Jackson. Dribbles into a double team, kicks it out to the open Lewis, who airballs a 3, and the ball bounces harmlessly over the baseline. I'm sure Robert Lewis would like to have that one back.
It was a clean look. I'm honestly surprised. He had a lot of space. I'm surprised that he didn't just drive. He could have put his head down and gotten at least to the free throw line untouched.
Lewis, the Arkansas Pine Bluff transfer, now 2 of 8 from three-point range on the season. Wilkerson a little bit better than that, over 50% on the campaign. Long cross-court pass to Trent Sisley, who misses the 3 off front iron. And Lindenwood pushing the pace in transition. Cooper dribbles to the right block, pulls up from there, and leaves the jumper short. Offensive rebound tipped into the hands of Robert Lewis, who makes the basket and is fouled. He's got a chance at a 3-point play.
And that's just frustrating basketball if you're head coach Darren DeVries, because that foul is on Lamar Wilkerson, who was behind a much taller Robert Lewis, standing at 6'9", and Wilkerson just hit him on the arm as Lewis clearly had an advantage in positioning and just went right back up. At that point, just either give him the 2 points or really hack him and bring him down and make sure he doesn't have a chance for 3.
Wilkerson goes to the bench. Tucker DeVries takes his place. As Lewis looks to pay off the 3-point play, he's facing the student section. And it doesn't matter as he makes the line drive free throw. Josiah Miles, Reed Bailey, Tatum Connerway, Trent Sisley, and Tucker DeVries, the 5 out there for Indiana. Bailey's got it with a between-the-legs dribble, and he is fouled out near half court by Robert Lewis. Kind of a puzzling foul there. 1, because it's Lewis's 4th. 2, because nobody's going to shoot from half court, and Bailey just got bear hugged right there.
Yeah, the head coach for the Lions, Kyle Gerdeman, very frustrated over on his side of the floor by that foul. You're so far away from the hoop, and Reed Bailey's not going to chuck it from 35 feet.
Bailey, though, misses the first free throw. He's labored a little bit from the stripe in this game. That's his 2nd miss. Lewis goes to the bench with 4 fouls as Milos Nenadic comes back in. Nenadic is out there with Dontrez Williams, Clayton Jackson, Makai Cooper, and Jadis Jones for Lindenwood. Bailey goes 1 of 2 from the stripe as he makes the 2nd free throw. And at the 5:56 mark, it's 65-43, Indiana over Lindenwood. Across the timeline, Clayton Jackson comes with a left-handed dribble, gets a Nenadic screen, dribbles to the free throw line. 2-man game as Nenadic gets it on the left block. Nenadic across the lane, leans into Reed Bailey and got everything but the right-handed layup. Rebound fought for and controlled by Lindenwood. Dontrez Williams with the offensive board. Makai Cooper is open at the top, and he makes the wide-open 3 as Indiana collapsed on the paint but could not come away with the basketball.
I thought Reed Bailey had it locked up, but Lindenwood just recovered and knocked it out of his hands.
Connerway dribbling left through 3 defenders, passes it off to Bailey, who lost the handle out of bounds. It looked like it was deflected by Milos Nenadic, so Indiana will get a fresh 20 as the Hoosiers inbound from the baseline here. Another substitution for Indiana. Josiah Miles goes to the bench, as does Reed Bailey. And now the 5 out there, Connerway, Sam Alexis, Lamar Wilkerson, Tucker DeVries, and Trent Sisley for the Hoosiers.
And it feels like this 5 is the one that really can make stuff happen. Got a bit bigger, more physical Sam Alexis with the 2 shooters of Wilkerson and DeVries, but Wilkerson's been real quiet tonight shooting the ball.
Wilkerson with just 1 3-pointer on 7 attempts tonight. Connerway looking to inbound, gets it into Trent Sisley in the right corner. Sisley dribbles to the elbow, into the lane, a left-handed shot off glass, no good. He gets his own rebound and follows it up with 2. Second chance point for Trent Sisley right there. 67-46 Indiana over Lindenwood at the 5-minute mark in this second half. At the top, it's Clayton Jackson dribbling around a screen, left side of the lane, and he threw a wild pass off the hand of Jadis Jones and out of bounds. They were trying to work two-man game right there, but that pass was a little too far behind Jones, and he could not corral it.
And it wasn't necessarily even great pressure from Indiana. That was just a plain miss. Just straight up missed his guy.
13 turnovers for Lindenwood. Indiana has committed just 8 in this game. Connerway with a full head of steam into the lane, went up and lost the handle, but he had the ball swatted out of his hands and out of bounds by a Lindenwood player. So another baseline inbound situation here for Indiana. And before that, Dontrez Williams goes to the bench. Back in is Aeneas Futrell, the 6'5 senior out of Christian Brothers University. Inbound, batted into the hands of Tucker DeVries. Indiana almost lost it, but DeVries has it with 10 on the shot clock. Backing his way into the right side of the lane. He pivots off that left foot, baseline fadeaway off the heel. Offensive rebound batted out of the hands of Sam Alexis and into the hands of Lindenwood's Clayton Jackson, who drives the length of the floor, has his layup blocked by Alexis, and a travel called on Milos Nenadic of Lindenwood. So the Lions now turn it over for the 14th time in this game. Kyle Gerdeman wants an explanation. I don't think he's very pleased with that call.
No, Nenadic, it looked like he was almost getting shoved a bit by a couple Hoosier defenders who were behind him. So I think Gerdeman just pleading the case of, what do you want him to do? He was trying to go back up and get that ball up, but he was getting pushed. He was just trying to keep his balance. But at the end of the day, he did shuffle his feet, and the referee went ahead and called that travel.
Full court pressure for Lindenwood as Tucker DeVries gets it into Connor Enright. 4:15 to go in this second half, 67-46. Indiana leads Lindenwood. Enright dribbling left to right across the logo at center court. Now reverses course back to the left, trying to find some help. Gets a screen from Sam Alexis. Pick and roll into the paint. Here comes Alexis. Stops at the left block, trying to back down Nenadic. He puts it high off glass, no good. And Nenadic down with the rebound. Pushing the pace is the 6'10" big man. And now he gets it off to Clayton Jackson at the top. Jackson backing out with 20 on the shot clock. He dribbles toward the near sideline as Lindenwood sets up its offense. Jackson gets a screen, dribbling left to right. Back to the top. Nenadic is open. He passes up the three. Instead, it goes to the far corner. Back to Jackson with 7 on the timer. Jackson, perimeter right, way out there with 3 on the shot clock. Lindenwood's got a hoist. Cooper with a mid-range jumper left of center that falls off the rim and into the hands of Indiana's Connor Enright. Enright pushing the pace underneath the basket, and Indiana rotates the basketball to the top for Tucker DeVries. On a give and go with Alexis, DeVries almost lost the handle as he goes to the floor with Jadis Jones. Alexis picks it back up, no whistle. DeVries falling to the floor, misses the 3 as Jones sent him to the deck. He was fouled. And so Tucker DeVries will shoot 3 free throws when we come back to Assembly Hall. 3:08 to go, 67-46, Indiana over Lindenwood. You're listening to Indiana men's basketball on WIUX. Back here at Assembly Hall, where it hasn't been pretty, but Indiana is 3 minutes and 8 seconds away from improving to 5-0. The Hoosiers lead Lindenwood 67-46. Alongside Graham Nash, Nick Rodecap with you. And Graham, well, it was a bad shooting night for Indiana for about the first 60 or so percent, but Indiana has turned it on as of late. And on the other side, Lindenwood has just been frigid all night. 24% from the floor and 17% from 3. You just can't win many games like that. No,
you really can't. And it's been tough because Lindenwood has had stretches where it's looking pretty good. They've gone through a couple of different hot streaks, but they just can't seem to actually knit it all together to make one finalized product of good basketball. I mean, currently the Lions on a 2.5-minute scoring drought, just thwarted by the Indiana defense that has turned it on separate occasions. The only reason it was close for as long as it was because Indiana couldn't score to save their life, and all of a sudden, with the help of strictly Tucker DeVries, those shooting numbers and point scoring numbers have really been elevated.
Tucker DeVries with 23 of Indiana's 67 points at the line for 3 shots. He makes the first. He was fouled shooting a coffin corner 3 by Lindenwood's Jadis Jones. I think they actually said his foot was on the line, so this is a 2-shot foul. And DeVries makes good on both. So Tucker with a game-high 25 points for Indiana. Aeneas Futrell, by way of comparison, is the only Lindenwood player in double figures, and he has 10 points.
And he's the only one who's made a 3 for the Lions in this game.
3 of 18 is Lindenwood. Tucker DeVries done for the game. You can hear the ovation from the Indiana fans as Darren DeVries takes his son off the floor for the final 3:05 of this game. Clayton Jackson dribbling on the near sideline, gets it up top to Aeneas Futrell, who's made a couple threes. Now back to Jadis Jones, who drives into the lane, and a foul as he was doing so. I think that foul may have been away from the play. There were a couple of players that collided. And they got Connor Enright. That would be his 4th foul of the game.
That's the one bit of trouble that Enright has really found himself in this season. He plays physical. He's one of those kinds of players that Darren DeVries said Indiana fans are going to love because he plays hard, really good defense, really crafty with his assists. But because he plays so hard, he gets into foul trouble. He has already fouled out once this season.
Jadis Jones makes the first of 2 free throws, and now Lamar Wilkerson and Sam Alexis check out. So it's Josiah Miles, Reed Bailey, Enright with 4 fouls, Nick Dorn and Trent Sisley on the floor for Indiana. Jones, the left-handed shooter, makes the second free throw. So Jadis Jones now with 8 points, 6 of which have come at the free throw line in this game. 2:56 to go, 69-48 our score, as Indiana looks to lock up Lindenwood and improve to 5-0 on the season. Enright, left wing, he gets it over to Trent Sisley. Sisley gets a screen from Reed Bailey. Cross-court pass goes to Josiah Miles. Across the lane, Miles kicks it back out to Enright. Now Bailey inside the arc on the left side with 9 on the shot clock. Handoff to Miles, dribbling right to left. Baseline cutter is Sisley, who missed the 2-handed dunk, gets his own rebound and lays it in off the glass for 2. Lindenwood pushing the pace in transition now as Jadis Jones slams it down with the left hand out of nowhere. And I guess he said, well, you know what? We're going to leave here with a loss, but I'm leaving here with a highlight. Enright now at the top. A couple defenders pick him up. Reed Bailey is open. Cross-court pass goes to the corner where Nick Dorn misses a 3. Offensive rebound for Bailey. At the top, Enright driving on the right side of the lane. Kicks to Josiah Miles. And at the top of the key, Trent Sisley rotates it to Dorn, who steps through 2 defenders and misses the underhand layup right at the rim. Out and running is Dontrez Williams for Lindenwood. A right-handed floater negative. And it looks like an over-the-back foul there on Robert Lewis, but they may have gotten Indiana's Trent Sisley, and they did get Sisley, but Lewis was also up in the air there. I feel like that could have gone either way.
Yeah, not exactly sure. It looks like they got Sisley on a shove before Lewis went airborne. He was shoving, I believe, Dontrez Williams, who was underneath the cup, and they got that before anyone went airborne.
Lewis misses the front end of the 1-and-1, so Indiana's got the ball going the other way. 1:45 left, 71-50, Indiana in control. Miles at the top, controlling 2-man game. He wanted a give and go from Reed Bailey. The ball was deflected out of bounds, last touched by Lindenwood. So Indiana with 18 seconds on the shot clock here. And Lindenwood emptying the bench as Todd Beek comes in. This is his first action of the game. Enright inbounds baseline right, and Nick Dorn fires up a 3 from the corner, and too strong is Dorn on the shot. Rebounded by Lindenwood's Aeneas Futrell. Futrell running the length of the floor, gets to the right block, gets his defender in the air with a nice shot fake. Can't pay it off with the layup, but there for the second chance points is Aeneas Futrell, who converts on the putback. Enright walks it across half court. Sisley hands it back off. Connor Enright in the near corner. Now back to the top for Josiah Miles. Miles to Reed Bailey. Bailey looking for some help, finds Nick Dorn. Dorn back to Bailey, lobs it in. Double team comes as Bailey gets to the left block, has his possession stripped. Trent Sisley lays it up. The ball around the rim and out, but Sisley fouled, and he'll go to the line for 2 with 1 minute to go in this game, and Indiana leading by 19 points.
And it's kind of gotten back to a bit of that sloppy play. The Hoosiers just, I think, moving a bit quickly on offense, trying to do things, and a couple of those shots not falling. Nick Dorn couldn't quite get it to go, but again, Indiana has fallen into a bit of a lull on the offensive side.
Indiana, one of its last 10 from the floor, for what it's worth. But Darren DeVries puts a walk-on into the game as Trice Grensing, the Murfreesboro, Tennessee native, will step onto the floor. And Sisley missed both free throws. The rebound is fought for, and before anybody got possession, Nick Dorn committed a foul, so we'll take it to the other end of the floor where Lindenwood will shoot 2 free throws. But this is about as unconvincing of a 19-point lead as I think you'll find for any team so far in the country this season.
Yeah, it's been real. It's just been ugly. I really don't know if there's another way to put it. I think that's the best way to say it. It's been a really, really ugly game. 18 of Indiana's points came from the free throw line in this game. That's really what carried them through the majority of the beginning of the second half. And from there, a couple players got hot, but man, it was slow sledding there for a bit.
Todd Beek makes one of two for Lindenwood. 55 seconds to go. Indiana leads 71-53. Josiah Miles walking it across. Beyond the arc, Miles finds Sisley on the right wing. Sisley gets a Reed Bailey screen. Now the pass to Bailey, right of the lane. Bailey with a left-handed dribble into the paint. Off the glass with the right hand and good. For Reed Bailey, he's got 6 points. That's just his second made field goal of the night. Probably the last possession here for Lindenwood. 37 seconds to go. Indiana leading by 20 points. Clayton Jackson into the lane, misses off the heel, and the rebound into the hand of Nick Dorn. And a 1 second difference, and as I say that, the shot clock is turned off. So Indiana can dribble this one out. Josiah Miles walks it across half court, and it looks like that is where things will draw to a close. Neither team really showing any sense of effort at this point. 15 seconds to go. But this game will come to a close as Indiana cements its 5th win in as many games this season, defeating Lindenwood here at Assembly Hall by a final score of 73-53, but still a lot to clean up for Indiana. The defense at times was sloppy, but so was the scoring. The Hoosiers have now scored 69 points in back-to-back games after averaging 99 points through their first 3. Seems like a very volatile team, Grant Nash.
Yeah, really interesting. And, you know, they put 100 on Marquette, a really, really strong tournament team over the past couple seasons. Come home, play some less strong opponents, Incarnate Word and Lindenwood. I think what Indiana now needs to prove is that they're not going to get stuck in the position of playing to their opponent's level. That's, I think, something that befalls a couple teams that have so many new players, new head coach, as you skate through your first couple games, play phenomenal basketball, but then things kind of go sideways, you get comfortable, and now you got to find a way to keep pushing, especially through those games where you're heavily favored.
Indiana will be back in action on November 25th. That's next Tuesday against Kansas State. But until then, your final from Assembly Hall on this Thursday night. Indiana 73, Lindenwood 53. The Hoosiers improve to 5-0, and Lindenwood drops to 2-4 on the season. Thank you so much for listening to this presentation of Indiana men's basketball. For Graham Nash and our studio host Connor Choi, I'm Nick Rodecap saying so long from Simon Scott Assembly Hall.